Welcome to Fright Night.
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end.
Please welcome Art the Clown.
We can defeat death. We can achieve every doctor's dream. You'll be famous.
Ilsa, who plays the social worker with the glasses in the film, worked at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. She was the assistant registrar, and that's where I was studying. And I knew Ilsa, and she said, I know this guy that makes movies. You should meet him. I said, okay. So we went down to the West Village and met Frank. He put me in 3 background parts in Slash of the Knife. Which is the film just prior to Basket Case. Some months later, he called me up and he had this idea for a film, it's called Basket Case. Do you want to hear about it? I said, sure. So he talked through the whole film, like shots and angles and effects and everything on the spot, and said, are you interested?
Jesus Christ!
What a cool idea that I get to play, essentially, I get to play both sides of a set of Siamese twins. It's part of the power of the film. They considered themselves one entity until they were separated. So that whole mindset, I love that. As an actor, I love that. One of the things I enjoy most is that we got a little bit of the old Times Square in the film, because that's all gone now. Manhattan in the mid-'70s, late '70s was pretty gritty and dark. We were gonna shoot in a hotel that was kind of diagonally across from Madison Square Garden, and we had bums coming up and saying, if you give me $50, I won't steal your cables, kind of a thing. So that didn't quite work out, and we ended up doing a lot of the hotel scenes were built in a set in Chelsea area. So we drive around the East Village, then we didn't find anything. Then we ended up in the Garment District, and if you look at Beverly and Dwayne's room are the same room, just redecorated, right? And in the corner by the bathroom door, there's a pipe that goes up and down. That's the center cardboard thing of a roll of cloth. Very low budget. Frank's always said if you watch carefully the walls, when anyone's traveling down the hallway, you can see them move, because they're not solid, they're flats, a frame with a cloth covering made to look like a wall. Now, it was kind of like a family project. It was pretty cool the way it was done. This was in the era of film. It was shot on 16 millimeter, right? And they were using short ends, which in the film business, I don't know exactly how it works, but let's say a whole roll is 2,000 feet and somebody buys 1,600 feet. There's a few hundred left over. Those are called short ends. So they would buy short ends, and Frank would say, we have enough film for one take. Unbeknownst to Frank, as a trained actor, that's how we like to work. So it worked out really well. Yeah, I'm still in touch with a lot of these people. Beverly passed on not too long ago. We miss Beverly. But yeah, again, it was like a family. We spent a year making it. When people were available, when they had money for film, they would do a rough cut, show it to people, get some more money, do a couple more scenes, and repeat. So yeah, working like that, you become close to people. We have Joe Bob Briggs to thank for this, because he wanted to show it. He was doing a drive-in movie show on American TV. I don't even remember anymore, but he was one of our earliest champions. He said, "Frank, I'll show it, but I won't show a cut version." And the cut version wasn't doing very well. So Frank said, all right, and snuck him a copy of it, uncut, which he showed, and then all of a sudden it got real popular. And so the distributor, just without any fanfare, just started replacing all the cut versions with the uncut versions, and it started to take off.
Sounds like an animal.
You checked it out, man?
It's breaking up the place, man.
Go down and check it out, man. Go ahead, man.
It's certainly
In
breaking
here!
up. I ain't never heard no noise like that before.
Museum of Modern Art in New York City just did a state-of-the-art restoration of it, and it's part of their permanent collection now. So when that was all finished, we all went down there and watched it on a big screen, which is pretty cool. And I hadn't seen Uji in, I don't know, 20, 30 years. Frank was there. A lot of cool people from the old days were there. It's interesting, though, because, you see, if you look at something you did, even a year earlier, you look at it and say, "Wow, I would have done this or would have done that." That's classic, and people think that's a sign of maybe I didn't do a good job or whatever, but it's actually a sign of growth. With all of the technology, with all of the CGI you see in films now, our little 16 millimeter film people still like. I'm very proud of that. Again, when Frank pitches a film, he's really into it. He goes all out, and it's very compelling. He was pitching, I guess it was Frankenhooker it would have been Frankenhooker, to Jim Glickenhaus of Shapiro Glickenhaus, a film house at the time. And he went through the whole film and essentially performed it solo for Jim, who said, "That's fantastic. What else have you got?" And, Frank's exhausted at this point, and this is from him. This is the way he described it. He just blurted out, "Basket case 2?" Jim said, "Yeah, all right." And we were off. They filmed them back to back. They rented a pier on the west side of Lower Manhattan. It's near where UPS is now. I'm not sure what's in the location now. That area was a abandoned sort of neighborhood in those days. Now it's very high-end and trendy, but they rented a big space on one of the piers and built the sets for those two films on that pier. I think it was 40-something, 42 or 49. You should have seen it. The effects shop in this pier that Gabe was running. I mean, these two were out of their minds. All of these effects in one film. These are physical effects. These no CGI, But it was fun. It was a lot of fun, We had a little bit more money. They were both union films. It was a cooler level of the process, having that many effects, each creature, each freak, unique individual, And between takes, they had a freak wrangler, we called them, with the hairdryer turned on cool, and they had ports and, blow cool air in them so they didn't die on set. I did an industrial film when I was still in Detroit, but I don't remember the name of it. Whether it's still available, I have no idea. Most of what I did prior to Basket Case in New York was theater. And theater is different, In a film, you do little bits over a long period of time and you edit it together. In a play, it's consecutive, and there's a flow that you get. So, and that's where I come from. I come from the theater originally. The thing with film is you can do a close-up. You can get real subtle with film that you can't do in live theater, because there's guys sitting way back there, you know, but you can come right in with the camera and you get subtle. And I like that. I appreciate that as an actor, you know, because when the camera's doing a close-up, you really have to be focused and present. This is a project I worked on 40 years ago, and people still like it, and that's like a gift. And most of the people that come to my table when I do a convention weren't even born yet when the film was made. If I only do a few conventions, it's fun. You know, I enjoy meeting people, and people have great stories, and a lot of people have great costumes. I've seen some great Dwayne and Belial costumes at these conventions, and everything else, you know. I meet lots of my favorite actors and actresses from films at these cons. It's fun. I've been working on a continuing story of the Bradley brothers, Case 4, excuse me, which I would love to do, because now remember, if you saw both the second and the third film, there's a number of baby Belials that survived that third film, and they're in their mid-20s. It wouldn't be a basket case 4. It would be, I'm calling it Case 4 because it's a very different kind of a film. I'd like to shoot it in 16. I'd like it to be black and white. But again, I don't know, you know, this, the trick with this stuff is finding the money to do it. I have a great treatment, you know. We'll see.